Hey everybody, it's Shadowstar and Crystal here to discuss episode 7 of Season 2. Yeah, that one. Episode 6 of Season 2. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Keep your enemies
thing to say.
Keep your enemies closer. That's the name of the episode. Anyway, continuing the track record of Season 2 being full of big, good episodes, here's another one.
We focused on Deadshot.
Yeah, it's a Deadshot Diggle episode. We get these a lot. Like I said, Diggle and Deadshot is an arc, and I love it. But it's not just a Deadshot episode, it's a Russian episode.
Yeah, we met that guy Anatoly who we knew from
The flashback.
Yeah, the flashbacks in the jail in the boat.
Yeah, so once again, it's the present day kind of spoiling or hinting at flashback stuff because clearly they have a bond which hasn't really formed yet. But the thing is, it's a big step up from last season. Last season's flashbacks had barely any impact on the present day. You never met anyone. Here, we've met Anatoly.
Yeah, the flashbacks are getting more important.
Yeah. So, well, you know what? Since we're all talking about it, let's start with the flashbacks before we get to the rest. But
basically, all that happened was Sarah got him to use the radio to prove his friends are alive.
Yeah, that's the thing. It really sets up an interesting dynamic with Sarah because it goes back and forth on which side you think Sarah might be for. Because at first, okay, it looks like she's helping him escape. Then it looks like she was just using him to figure out if Shadow and Slade were there. But then again, she also didn't want him to be killed, of course.
Yeah, but Ivo knew his name was Oliver.
I'm trying to remember when he said Oliver. Did he say Oliver when he called the radio?
I guess.
I'm trying to think. Yeah, that's the thing. I always, like I said, I don't have a crystal clear memory of everything. I'm trying to remember, is it implied that Sarah has said stuff to Ivo? I don't know.
Maybe?
I don't know. But yeah, the flashbacks were at least interesting. Nothing huge, but we're building to stuff. We are building to stuff. Because I know what happens in a few episodes, and it's crazy how fast stuff comes up.
Yeah.
But we'll get to that soon. But outside of the flashbacks, and even the flashbacks themselves, everything except for a tiny little Thea plot was interconnected. So let's talk about the Thea plot. Nothing happened. There was Thea, there was Moira. Moira met Roy. That's about it.
Yeah, basically the lawyer said, don't date him, it'll affect the reputation, and...
Yeah, it seems like a silly aside plot for... honestly, I don't get why it was here, but it wasn't bad. It was just kind of there. But, well, don't worry, the Moira stuff is going to pick up very, very soon.
Yeah, I think they just wanted to have that in the episode.
Just to keep it going in your mind, basically.
Yeah, just to remind us that that's still happening.
Yeah. Well, okay, there was another little bit with Roy at the start when he was working with the Arrow.
Oh, yeah, true. That's what led to him getting arrested again.
Yeah, and Quentin instantly lets him go.
Yeah, when he says he's working
it really
with the Arrow.
It really shows how Quentin's turned around. It's about the only thing Quentin did in this episode.
Yeah.
You know who wasn't in this episode?
Laurel.
Yep. That'll improve the rating. Yeah, there was one interesting thing about that Quentin scene.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, there was one interesting thing is Roy says, Roy says I'm working with the Arrow, and he says you are too, right? How does Roy know?
I don't know.
That was the one thing I started to think about. It's a real odd bit. I don't think there's ever been...
Weird.
Yeah. But anyway, those are just the small little plots. We get them out the way. Let's get on to the big stuff. Russia, Deadshot, Isabella Rochev, it all comes together. Immediately after our little bit with Roy, it looks like Diggle gets kidnapped. But he's not. It's Lila who's kidnapped.
They can't just walk up to him. They're going to kidnap him first and say, hey, help us find Lila.
But we're introduced to another character, Amanda Waller.
Oh, yeah.
This is the introduction of...
I'm remembering stuff now that we see her.
You're remembering a certain thing that we've already covered?
Maybe?
Well, I like that they used a certain way to introduce her character. A certain establishing shot, shall we say. That's all I'll say. Yeah. We'll leave that, but I won't say any more. We'll leave it till more information is said about Amanda Waller. We didn't get too much, but she is a character well known in the comics, connected with Argus, but she's not the main focus. The main focus is Lila and Deadshot, and we get a lot of stuff with Anatoly, one of my favorite characters. He doesn't seem amazing here, but he just has so many good lines later in the show.
Yeah, he seems like he could get interesting.
Yeah, but honestly, it's an episode where we get a bit of Deadshot teaming up with Diggle, which is something we'll get.
Yeah, that was interesting. I didn't care for how he was obsessed with honor and he didn't kill him, but
I like that bit. I like the fact that Deadshot calls him out on that, though.
yeah. But to be fair, we were reminded that it was a contract. He was following orders.
Exactly.
And then at the end, we learned he didn't miss. He planned to kill him.
Exactly. He says he doesn't miss, but we've seen 2 episodes where he has missed. Didn't he miss in both the first episode we saw him and another episode where, like, Diggle was trying to get him and then Oliver wasn't there?
Oh, well.
But yeah, it felt like there was a lot in this episode. Not so much that the episode itself was huge, just that there's a lot of things that get sprinkled through the episode. Like, it's the episode where we meet Amanda Waller. We get a Deadshot episode.
It's not the best, but it starts off some
We
stuff.
get a mention of Hive. We're also watching some news footage of something else that'll be popping up in a few episodes.
Star Labs.
Shh, we'll get there. Yeah, that's the thing I've said about this show. I love when they plant things way in the future, like mentioning Hive.
Oh, yeah.
It's a thing that gets mentioned, and that's it. There's quite a few times where something's just mentioned, and that's it. But
Well, I guess over time, Diggle's going to look into it.
yeah, we do have a little bit of an annoying, silly side plot with Isabella Rochev that, you know what, like Felicity says, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, they needed an excuse to start off the whole Felicity thing because you can see, if it wasn't hinted last season, it is definitely being hinted that she feels something for him.
Yeah, I think they're slowly pushing to it, but they don't rush it, which is what I like.
Yeah, it worked great.
Yeah, but I've really enjoyed this episode. Look, one thing I love villains, and the only thing better than villains is villains teaming up.
And as usual, the costume people were great and Felicity's outfits were great. And a nice little thing I loved was that on her iPad thing, the picture of her on it was of her in that pink shirt outfit of the very first time we see her.
Yeah, that's something I never would have noticed. See, even you can pick up on clever Easter eggs.
Yeah.
But yeah, it felt like the episode went by so quick, but it just has so many good little things sprinkled through it.
Yeah, it's great.
It's an episode where it's more fun if you're somebody who's come to this episode from the past. Like, if you've seen the stuff before, this episode feels more fun because we're noticing all the little pickups of this is this first appearance and here's a clever mention of this thing. But yeah, I just love all the build-up.
I think I'll just go as high as 7.
That's a fair point. That's the thing. Like I said, it's fun for the little things that are sprinkled through, but the episode itself doesn't feel huge or anything.
Yeah.
It's just a fun episode. But there's also I can't really think of any bad points about the episode, can you?
No, pretty good.
Yeah. I can't think of anyone. There was no characters I didn't like in the episode. I mean, I don't care for Isabella Rochev. That's about the only thing, but it didn't drag down the episode or anything. That's the thing. It's not bad if the episode calls it out on it, and that's the thing. We're supposed to think him being with Isabella was a weird thing.
Yeah.
And we also had Diggle getting back with Lila.
Yeah.
Because we find out he's been with Lila and now he's back with her again.
Yeah.
But all in all, I think that's pretty much it. You have, what do you say?
7.
And I'm gonna give it an 8. A really good episode. I really enjoy. That's the thing. Usually, there are some episodes where I think it drags on. This didn't drag on. I love it. And like I said, season 2 is so good. And I love next episode. I love the episode after. Oh my god, the next 3 episodes are so good.
From the titles, I can sort of remember a little of what might happen.
I
but
remember next episode. Do you want to say the episode name for me?
State v Queen.
It's called State versus Queen.
It's V.
Whatever, we know what it means. It's the one I've been waiting for, and honestly, I can't wait. But I really enjoyed this episode. And if you enjoyed this episode and us, well, then we will see you next time for another really good Arrow episode.
Like, comment, subscribe if you liked this, so you can subscribe and see more of our stuff.
Alright then, we will see you next time for episode, is it 7?
Yes.
Episode 7 is next time. Why do I keep thinking it's 8? Oh well, next time is episode 7. See ya.